Greetings traders, this is Coach Robert, and in this video we are going to show the difference between four different sized tick charts. We have 100 tick, 500 tick, 1000 tick, and 2000 tick. And I am purposely running this now to catch the daily mock order at 3 p.m. Central Time, as we will see in about 5 seconds, and you can watch how each of these charts react, and then I will break it down shortly after the fireworks happen. We can see the DOM going crazy over here, and I'm using MNQ versus the mini NQ for the simple reason that there are a lot more transactions that happen, and since we are using tick charts, they are based on the number of transactions, not on volume or orders or sizes, but the number of transactions that happen. So as soon as a buy and sell happens or a sell and buy happens, it will count 1 towards the 100 tick counter. And then, of course, this was 500. Bottom left is 1,000. Bottom right is 2,000. And you can see visually just how fast and choppy the 100 tick looks compared to, say, the 1000 tick. So in other words, you would need 5 candles to print here before one prints on the 500 because it's 5 times as much, and of course 10 and 20. So you can see if you're looking at these higher tick values, it does look cleaner. However, if you look at the 100 tick chart and you kind of zoom in a little bit, you can see gaps in the pricing. So imagine if you were holding and you wanted to exit a long position. Let's say you're short and you wanted to get out at this level. It appears, I'm going to look up here, the lower of that candle is 23,261 quarter, but the open of the next candle is significantly different, 23,206 half. So they didn't open or close right next to each other. And we can see another gap here. So if you were short, you may have gotten a good fill to take profit and potentially get out with more profit. If you were long and this was your stop level, you would notice this potentially being stopped out anywhere in this candle because this is where it opened, and that would be something called slippage. But you can see once we see the 500 tick chart, those areas are covered because once the market cleared it and then back up again, this is 100, 200, 300 ticks. So these 5 candles are the 500 tick candle. So if we look at the time frame using my crosshair, we can see that at 1449 would be this red candle. It's a nice, clean, full candle with no gaps. However, by looking closer at a more detailed level, you can clearly see the gaps in the price action. And that's simply when you have a gap between the bid and the ask, and not as many buyers versus sellers, so the transaction needs to happen away from the current last price. So I'm going to leave this here just for another minute or two while the mock orders finish, the mock being the market on close, where institutions and large hedge funds will lose, will offload their positions, either going to the upside or the downside, whether they're buying a bunch or they are removing them from their books. Either way, there's a market on close where they put the orders in ahead of time, and once the mock hits at 2:50 Central Time, those orders will execute. We can see on the DOM that it has slowed down a bit, where we don't have a lot of single digits, but it's not finished because even further down below here on the bid side, it's really tough to see. You may need to go and pause the video or slow it down, take screenshots, but it is a bit different than it was just a bit ago when all of this was happening right at the this 250 mark. It still has quite a bit going on. I'm going to hold on to this for just another minute or so. It's currently 254, so we'll go to about 255, 256. And this is just a demonstration to show the same instrument with different tick levels. You can do the same on time charts also. However, you would really need to zoom in. So for example, if I were to do this same exercise on a time-based chart, I would probably do this on a 5-minute chart, a 1-minute chart, a 30-second chart, and then a 1-second chart. Something like that, where you can see the gaps in each one of the times. So there'll be a lot of gaps in the 1-second chart, since it's plotting a candle every second, versus the 30-second, 1 minute, or 5 minute. There's a huge gap. This is a look at the size of what just happened. It even showed on the 500 tick chart, 2 gaps. Now this is a great example of how you would see slippage, and this is a significant amount. If I just take a drawing tool from here to here, this is a 13-point difference. Look at that difference. For the most part, I'm just eyeballing this. Here's the close of this candle to the open of the one below, a 5-point difference. You can see that on a 500 tick chart as well. So be sure, if you're looking at these and trying to figure out how how your orders happen, especially the market orders, as soon as the price is hit, on a stop order or a limit order, it turns into a market order. Or if you just go and press the buy and sell markets buttons and enter on a market order right away. So this is actually a really great demonstration of how this can, when you at the granular level, can kind of show it. I'm actually going to make a copy of that image so I can save it myself for future reference. So I'm going to stop there. I just wanted to give a brief example and demonstration, and this is definitely something you can do for yourself on Top Step X by making the 4 charts. You can use different chart setups over here and just synchronize the symbol, and notice that I have the chart link. These are all set to yellow, so all I have to do is change the instrument and it will instantly change to another instrument. And let me do this very quickly for an example. Just go to MES and we can see the difference, the choppiness, the gaps. The same with MES also. And again, I chose MNQ just because it's a very fast moving instrument and it will demonstrate what I'm trying to show more clearly. So there you have it. Coach Robert talking about 4 different levels of tick charts. Trade well, and we'll see you in the next one.